Well, Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi, he's had his day in court today. He's pleaded not guilty to the counts against him. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shrimsai is making his way out of the court premises. It's important to note that Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi, he has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. He's been granted bail to the tune of 10 million Ghana cedis. 10 million Ghana cedis with two sureties to be justified in the Greater Accra. Honorable, we have 1 week to file your disclosures. Is the state ready? Thank you very much. So that is Dr. Justice Shrimsai, of course, giving an indication that he will not speak to us at the moment, but about a week to file his disclosures in the matters, and wanted to inquire from him if he is ready to file them within said week. The lawyer for Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi, he introduced SK Boafo, indicated that it was important. He mentioned the presence of SK Boafo in court, and so we could glean from that it was that the former board chair of the Ghana Infrastructure Court, that is why the Leonard Senior SK Boafo to the court. The simple exercise that took place for Professor Ameyaw-Akumfi, who was present in court today to take his plea on the 4th, or as far as this case is concerned. Case started with the counts being read to him, which included conspiracy to commit crime, to which willfully causing financial loss to the state, as well as intentional dissipation of public funds. He pleaded. Then his lawyer, Duke Aaron Sasu, took the floor to argue bail for the investment fund. Aaron Sasu, he argued that the professor is a distinguished in public service all his. He's been a former Minister of Ports and Harbour. He's been former board chair of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, a role he took for which he's been brought to court, and also a former board chair of the Public Procurement Authority. By making those points, he sought to argue that Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi is a man who has dedicated his life to the service of Ghana, and he's one that the court ought to be recognized as someone that should be granted bail. He also indicated that Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi is not at flight risk, and that he maintains a permanent residence at Pokwase in Accra. He also hinted that Professor Ameyaw-Akumfi, as part of coming to court, had even brought his passport and other travel documents to make them available if need be as bail conditions. Then he went on to stress on the health conditions of Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi, which had earlier prevented him from making an appearance in court. And he says that Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi has undergone 2 major surgeries in the past, at least within the past 2 years, which has one inhibited his movement, and another which which the doctor says he has an issue with it. Based on those circumstances, he thought that the accused person was entitled to bail by the court. But he forcefully made a point that it's important the court is not tempted to grant bail on the same amount that was granted to the first accused, that is Solomon Asamoah, which Solomon Asamoah was given 15 million Ghana cedis bail to be justified with 2 sureties, were landed property. For lawyers of Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi, they argue that really bail is an individualistic matter, and despite the fact that the two persons have been charged together on the same fact sheet and on the same issue, they are separate individuals as far as the issues of bail are concerned. And he argued that it is important that the court allows him to execute the bail on his own recognizance. Executing the bail on his own recognizance would mean that there wouldn't be a need for sureties, there wouldn't be a need for people to stand in for him as surety. But Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shamsai, he declined this, even though he was not opposed to the plea for bail. He felt that it was important that the accused was granted bail on same conditions. The court, at the end of the day, granted him bail on 10 million bond. SK Buafo, he was in court today. Good to see you, sir. Yes, we acknowledge that, sir. But today you were not representing anyone, as we saw. Did you come for Prof. Christopher Ameyaw-Akumfi? How is yourself, Christopher?
No, nothing.
But I'm sure as your brother, you believe in his innocence. I'm sure as his brother, you believe in his innocence.
Yeah. The court says you are innocent before you